Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your front brake cable on your 1986 Kawasaki KLT 110. It's this one here that goes down to your front wheel. The first thing I'm going to do is disconnect it from this brake handle here. So we're going to go ahead and loosen this out all the way and out of here. Alright, and now we can pull this out so that it slides into that groove there, and then you should be able to pop it out and disconnect it from this handle. See that this ball thing here on the end, that's what holds it in. So get it lined up there and then push it down and it will disconnect. Now we can go ahead and pull this part off. You're going to need to save this. I don't think the new one comes with one. And so now we can just go ahead and pull it down and through. And so now we've just got to disconnect it from this side. For this side here, we're going to need to loosen this bottom bolt completely. Okay, and this actually was not tight down here, so it just kind of popped off for me. But you might have to loosen this bolt and take it out to access this lever here. It's got the same thing over here holding it on. Got to pull this. Next part might be tricky depending on how froze up your cable is. I actually had this soaked up in oil for a while. I tried to get this one to work again, so mine shouldn't be too froze up, but it's froze up enough that it doesn't allow these brakes to work. So we've got to pull the cable back through the housing here, or push it all the way back through there so that we have enough room to be able to pull this part out of this bracket here so that we can disconnect this part. So I've just got a pry bar in here and I'm kind of just twisting it and pushing down on that lever to pull this cable all the way through. I've actually got to a point where it's kind of getting a little bit too hard to do it, so I'm going to stop here and see if we can get that cable pulled all the way through. So that's far enough. As long as you've just got that much sticking back out, you can pull this out and off of that bracket. So now the rest of this should be easy. Just make sure you keep the wire kind of tight so that you don't do this. Pull it straight that way so that lines up with the little notch there, and then pull it out. So I don't know if something's messed up with mine. I was able to just pull this arm off the rest of the way, but there's the little end there that's sticking out that's caused me problems. So I don't know how they think you're gonna get this out of here, but I'll figure it out one way or another, whether I have to cut this cable or something. But I'm gonna take a look at the new cable and see if it's set up the same way, because if it is, then I might have some issues. The bottom side, and it is not set up the same way, so I won't have that issue. But here is the part number for the replacement that I got. I just ordered it off Amazon. Just cut it off. So I've got to find a nut to go with this bolt, and I'll put this back on and we'll put the new cable on. Okay, so we got this back on. It just goes back on the opposite way. You line it up, push it through, and so now we can go ahead and stick this cable back up through here. It went on the outside of this fork, up through here by these wires, and then you gotta find this hole up here. Might help if you can stick your hand up in there a little bit. But there we go. It wasn't too hard. Alright. I did almost forget. Oh, we gotta stick it back through this bracket here. So, you might do that before you fish it back up through, but I think I can do it even without fishing it back through. Just pry that rubber hose off of these threads here. Unbolt one of these bolts. Alright, and stick it back on through this bracket. There we go. And then you can put this bolt back on. There's two of them here so that you can adjust it in or out depending on where this lever is, which I will do after I hook up this other end. So pull this out as far as you can. We're going to have to put that piece that we took off earlier back on. Here it is. It goes back in there like this. It threads back into the handle. So we'll pull this out and then put this, make sure that the hole is still lined up, and put it over the cable like so. And then we should be able to pull it out enough where we can put this back on here, opposite way that we put it on. Just line up the cable with this slot and push it back up in there. Okay, I got it back in there. It was a little bit harder than it was coming out. I had to use some pliers to help me, and I had to take this piece back off, but hopefully we can get it back on there. Maybe. Yep, okay. So there we are. I guess this piece goes on last. So now all we have to do is adjust it and make sure that it will stop. Okay, so I've got this kind of how I want it up here. You want to make sure that the end of this goes all the way up in here. If it's not, you might need to make sure it's fished all the way up through there and it's not snagged on anything or like up against something that it's holding it back. And then get this kind of where you want, and I'm just going to adjust it since this is already off with this. So when I pull that lever up there, it doesn't pull it far enough to stop the wheel. I've got it up on a jack here so we can see when I spin that and I pull the handle, it doesn't pull it enough, but okay, so on mine, the full movement of this, just all the way loose and hooking it up to here and then coming all the way back is not enough. So I'm gonna put it on maybe like right here, and then I'm going to kind of hold it in place and try to hook up this wire here. So I finally got it figured out. I think my biggest issue was I just wasn't tightening this bolt up. It was slipping, so I kept having to re-put this arm back on. But anyway, make sure you tighten this arm or it will slip. But this is how I've got it adjusted. And up here, I've got this pretty much all the way out. I don't know why that doesn't want to go in there further, but it works. Yeah, there we go. That's how you replace your front brake cable.